ain't gonna interrupt because he will grill you.
And
he will tear you down.
That's right.
He's very clever too.
One of the greatest treasures in the world of righteous consciousness. Ooh, I like this.
I study people. You don't know that. I'm writing a paper on you.
Well, I must say, you all had a lot to say of it. I'm going to let you speak out.
What are you going to do, brother? What are you going to do? Just to do it. Just doing his independent research.
All the art I do is mostly black, and it's for everybody, but it involves mostly black people because I'm black.
Danny God. Danny God.
Welcome to God's Talk Show here on lightningfm.co.uk. Big shout out to Junior Mac. Yes, big. I could say nothing more than a big shout out to Junior Mac. Anyway, last week I promised you we'd get into Christianity. We've dealt with relationships over the past couple of weeks, and I've been getting a call from a particular listener, regular listener, and she's been asking, "Can you do something on Christianity? Can you do something on Christianity? The ins and outs of Christianity?" And I mean, we have done stuff on Christianity before, but we kind of moved on from that. But I've kind of recapped some stuff. I've added some new stuff. So in today's show, we will do some stuff on Christianity. Why does Christianity create so many pedophiles? That's supposed to make you laugh. Oh, did you laugh? All right, cool. Some facts about Christianity. Some things you should know if you don't already know. Things you could go and research for yourself. But as I said, I should say we're not trying to stop anybody from being a Christian. And if you're a Christian, we're not trying to unconvert you. We're just putting out information. You know what I'm saying? So we'll do that in the show. And also on today's show, the topic is, how have things changed since the Brixton Riots of 1981? Is the 30-year anniversary today. Want to know how things have changed since the Brixton Riots of 1981. So for the elders about, you don't even have to be an elder. Just a middle-aged kind of person, innit? If you're about them times, want to know what your views are, what your opinions are. If you were there flinging two buckle and stone, want to hear from you as well. But before we do all that, at the end of the show, you get final thoughts where you get to find out what I think about how things have changed with Brixton, and a quick breakdown on Christianity and the pedophiles and all that kind of stuff. It's a madness, isn't it? Absolute madness. Right, let's do this.
Yo.
News bits
On God's Talk Show.
Danny God in the building, God's Talk Show. Let me turn that down. Let's make sure. Can I hear myself? All right. Excellent. Fantastic. This is talk about Christianity. This one jumped out at me in the Southwark News. I picked this one up. Reverend jailed after tramp attack. I kid you not. Hold on. Am I too loud? Check. Mic check. There. That's a bit better. Let's turn that down. Right. A reverend based in Peckham has been imprisoned for 7 years after he poured boiling water over a tramp who bedded down on his church doorstep before stabbing him 4 times. What's going on? Aye. Friday Archie, that's his name. How can you be called Friday Archie? That's not a proper name. Friday Archie, shouldn't be like Archie Friday. Anyway, Friday Archie, and he spells Archie with a Y, not an I-E. Strange. Friday Archie, 50, who held services at the Glorious Family Church in Penarth Road, was sentenced to 7 years in jail for the vicious attack, where he's allegedly yelled, "I told you, if you no, let's do this. I told you, my brother, if you stay here, you will die." As he attacked the homeless victim, 37-year-old Denatus Ben, whoever that is, that's the guy who got stabbed, suffered 4 stab wounds following his ordeal. On May the 2nd last year, required hospital treatment for a punctured lung. Punctured the homeless guy's lung for sleeping in a doorstep. Hold on a minute, am I confused? But didn't Jesus like the lepers and go and heal people and raise people from the dead? What's going on? He was maybe he was washing him with boiling holy water. Right. The court heard that the reverend initially denied attacking one of 4 men sleeping rough on his doorstep, but police later charged him with grievous bodily harm regardless of this. The case came to trial last month, and officers were given an extension, blah, 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 to find the homeless person because they couldn't find him because he was homeless. However, Detective Constable Susan Linton said this was an horrendous attack of a defenseless man. The case has unusual challenges. However, the matters were overcome as we set up a means of remaining in contact with the victim. They gave him a pay-as-you-go phone. I bet you. I hope this case means that other homeless people who become victims of crime will come forward in confidence that police will assist them. Wow. Archie, also listed as living blah blah blah, was sent down on March 29th. He was sent down 7 years for stabbing. This is a pastor of a church, right? A reverend of a church in Peckham, stabbing a homeless man 4 times, puncturing his lung, pouring boiling water on him because the homeless man was sleeping in the doorstep of the church. I can't find no punchline. I can't find a punchline for that.
It's the award-winning host,
Danny God.
I love this one. News of the world. Yesterday. Google. The wacky workplace secrets of Google have been exposed in a searching new book. Boffins at the web giant worth 118 billion. Talking about 11. Google is worth 118 billion. Enjoy free trapeze lessons, gourmet food, massages, car washes, and even chocolate truffle making classes. All at work. So-called Googlers cycle from building to building on company bikes at the sprawling Googleplex. I love that. The Googleplex headquarters campus in California. They have luxury Wi-Fi equipment, biodiesel buses take them to and from work, and there are gyms staffed with personal trainers as well as hairdressers and dry cleaners. They can even exercise at swim-in place pools by pushing against a current in a short stretch of water. You know them pools which is just like there's a small pool, but they got the current coming down at you hard, so you feel like you're swimming upstream? Like that. It's not no Olympic-sized pool. This is high-tech. The gardens grow edible flowers, but they're flowers that you can eat. In case the free gourmet grub does not hit the spot, but you might want to think twice about eating them because staff are also allowed to bring their dogs to work. You can bring a pit bull to work. A new book called Google Led claims their offices across the world share the same zany approach. Blah blah blah. There was a part in here which was was hilarious about newcomers. Here we go. These are talking about the guys, and then it goes in. The pair, a cult-like devotion of new employees known as nooglers. That's what they call new people, nooglers, right? Sit at the front of their monthly meetings. Let me start this again. Here we go. With deck chairs. Every Friday, here you go. Every Friday, Googlers around the world gather for a video conference to put questions to co-founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin. The pair foster a cult-like devotion, and new employees known as nooglers sit at the front wearing hats in Google's colors with what they call it? With a propeller on the front. I love it. I do. Google. I want to work for Google. Easy. You get a massage at Google. I'm not saying nothing. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
it's the award-winning host,
Danny God.
And finally, in news bits. Excuse me. It's a bit dusty in here. You gotta open that door a bit. Magic spells keep Nigerian women stuck on Europe's carousel of sex. I'm going to get into this a bit deeper on another day, but basically this is an article. It was in the Eye newspaper, and it's something that's been cropping up in the press lately about Nigeria being the new leader in sex slavery. People coming from Nigeria being brought to Europe, to girls being brought from Nigeria being brought to Europe to be slaves. Sex slaves or house slaves, but mainly sex slaves. And this article here says there are 100,000 trafficked Nigerians in Europe, and 80% come from Edo, a southern state that is home to only 3% of Nigeria's population. So it's not even, 3%. It's a small minority of the people in Nigeria, but they're making up the majority of the sex slaves in Europe, or a large amount of people in Europe. It is the trafficking capital of Africa and home of the traditional West African religion they call Juju. And it goes on, they interview a young lady, and she says basically she swore an oath. She swore an oath to the Juju doctor, the Juju man who said, she would never run away from the people. And that's why she doesn't run away, because she feels that the Juju would do her some damage. Juju being Obia, Condomble, Voodoo. Alright? She now sleeps with about 10 men a day, 7 days a week for €20, which is £17.50 a time. She will work even if she feels ill, even if she has her period. Something else. Wow, crazy. We're gonna have to get into this on we're gonna have to do a show about this, the rising number of sex slaves, and why on earth is Nigeria becoming the #1 sex slave country of the world? What's all that about? I don't get it. We need to fix up. Producer, do we need to fix up? My brother.
That's the news. And now,
Today's discussion.
Right, let's stop that because that's in my headphones and it's doing me head in. Stop. Brixton Riots. 11th of April 1981. The riot resulted in almost 279 injuries to police officers. 279 injuries to police officers. And 45 injuries to the members of the public. Who do you think won? Come on now. Come on. The police were Arsenal. Who do you think won? And the rioters were Barcelona. Well, okay. Strengths. There was 2,500 police. This is according to Wikipedia, and about 5,000 black and white men, because I've seen the film footage on the news today. There's white guys there as well. 279 injured policemen. Brixton Riots. 11th of April, 1981. I wasn't there. I wasn't here. I wasn't there. But I heard about it, as well as all the other riots that were taking place. It was a very major riot. 5,000 people fighting against the police. That's a big thing. Never happened before. There were riots in Notting Hill, 58. I think there was riots in Tiger Bay just after the Second World War, the First World War. But nothing on this scale. Brixton, 1981. They were rioting because what we call stop and search today was called sus back then. I've got a little clip here I can play. Anyway, where is it? It's in here somewhere. No, we'll play that later. It was called sus back then. Basically just meant that the police could go around stopping people at will. Background. Let's give you. In Brixton, South London, there was an area enjoying severe social and economic problems. The local community was suffering high unemployment, low wages, poor housing, and had access to very few amenities. Bam, 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 bam. I did see sus in here somewhere. We'll break it down later. I'll find it. It's been one of them days. What more can I say? What I want to do is I want to talk to people who were involved in the Brixton Riot, who knew about the Brixton Riot, who had people involved in the Brixton Riot. I would like you to call in, because what I would like to know, contrary to what Radio 4 has been saying and contrary to what BBC London have been saying, where they say things have improved. I'm not quite sure things have improved. They don't even say things have improved. They say, obviously things have improved. I'm like, what do you mean, obviously things have improved? If the standard, like last week we spoke, that even though you're earning more, your money buys less. So technically, you're worse off now financially than you were in 2004. So yeah, we might have some houses and we might have some cars and we might have some businesses and we might have 4 people or 5 people or 8 people in the House of Commons and so on and so forth. But society has moved on as well as we have moved on. And is the gap between us and society less? General population, the predominant culture. Is the gap between us and them smaller, larger, or the same? That's effectively what I'm asking you today. So how have things changed since the Brixton Riots of 1981? Considering there's been 2 high-profile deaths in custody, Smiley Culture and the gentleman in Birmingham. Don't have his name here on me. But yeah, I've been following it, I should say. How have things changed? Speak to me. Call Danny God here on lightningfm.co.uk, God's Talk Show. The telephone number is...
If you have an opinion, ring us on 07944 254 908. That's 07944 254 908.
Just call me. Just call me on how have things changed since the Brixton Riots of 1981. What was the outcome of the riots for you, if you were there? Were you there? Did you fling 2 buckle and stone? Did you bust up a policeman? Did you do him some harm? I want to hear from you. Give me a call. Talk to me. And talk